Deputy Paul Murphy.
Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot, Minister.
Deputy.
Looking forward to engagement over the next couple of years. First question is, if we really embrace AI, how many jobs do you think are at risk in Ireland?
I don't know, and I don't think I could possibly know at this early point, Deputy, and not to be obfuscating. I'd like to be able to answer your question more directly, but I would hope when we establish the AI Observatory that will be to give us data and real knowledge base into where the displacement may come from. And
is it a concern of yours? Is it something to be weighed up in deciding whether we embrace AI or not, that we might lose tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of jobs? Some estimates have 200,000.
Okay, well, I would like to, I would like to think we wouldn't be looking at those kind of figures here in Ireland that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I would be a realist and to say that there will be some displacement. I think it would be a fool not to say that. But in your opening remarks there, I don't think we can afford to not embrace AI and to embrace it in a way that has that skills, that risk-based approach that does protect our citizens. But I'm equally conscious, I'm very conscious that there will be jobs that now can be done by AI, and we have to look and work with organisations like SkillsNet Ireland to see where those jobs will be most impacted and how we can reskill and upskill those who will be impacted.
And what about the impact on terms and conditions and employment experiences of workers? I don't know if you saw the story last week in the Journal about workers in Covalin. So it's an outsourced company from Meta to train AI, and their workers have joined the CWU, and the story, you should read it, it's pretty horrendous. Quote, every day, 150 times a day, I wrote prompts asking an AI how to kill or hurt myself. You cannot imagine what this is like. Eventually, and I really think it will be the same for anyone, those thoughts started to feel normal. They're there at your desk saying, come on, we need you to do this faster. It's meant to take 30 seconds. And it's like, seriously, do you think this is easy, pretending to be a paedophile all day? Like really horrendous stuff in order to train AI. What should be done to protect those workers?
I'm not familiar with the article that you raised there, Deputy, and I'm more than happy if you want to share it with me. I mean, my understanding, and I know that the EU AI Act is intended to protect citizens. It is to have that risks-based approach. The example you're given there is a very cruel way of using workers. It certainly wouldn't be acceptable here in Ireland.
This is happening in Ireland?
With Meta.
With Meta, yeah. So it's an Irish firm, Covalin, is an outsourced company from Meta.
Okay. The details I'm not familiar with, Deputy, so I'll have to come back to you on it.
Yeah, I mean, and do you think that's, you mentioned earlier that why the emphasis on SMEs is because of the Department of Enterprise, but as far as I know, it's the Department of Enterprise, Tourism and Employment, so you also deal with workers' rights. Do you think this is something that is in your remit?
In my remit? Well, that is certainly not acceptable in terms of that treatment of workers.
Good. And would you agree that these, like there was previously a push, this is pre-AI becoming as dominant as it is, there was a push to stop the outsourcing, because there's been repeated issues of kind of content moderator people, they're all outsourced by these big companies. So people have to watch, again, pre-AI, you watch horrendous videos, because someone has to watch it, but it's all outsourced, and it's a way of the big multinationals avoiding responsibility. Would you agree that these jobs should be brought in-house, and therefore you have a clear chain of responsibility from the big tech corporations to the workers who are doing this very difficult work?
Deputy, what I would say to you is the EU, and I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I mean, you're giving me a level of detail there that I'm not aware of, that AI systems will do much of the content moderation that is done by humans. in relation to your question, again, I go back to the point that the EU AI Act is there to protect citizens. And while I know we're not at the enforcement stage, that would be my ambition, that we can not only be where we're intended to be with our AI office and all the and the regulations will apply to providers and subcontractors as well. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Okay, thanks. I mean, this is like one of the downsides of AI is the training of them, which is abusive to workers. But the other aspect of that training is the breaching of the rights of artists of various sorts. So there was a story in the paper the other day about Conor Costick, who's a member of the Irish Writers' Union, saying 52 of his works, including 24 books, have been scraped or copied from the internet and used by Meta's AI model without his permission. Basically, that they are training these big LLMs on material that is effectively stolen, breaches of copyright. Do you agree that they should be able to train and use works of art, writing, without the permission of those who wrote them and outside of the framework of any normal copyright? I couldn't go and copy this guy's books.
My answer is that no.
Okay, yeah, great. Just finally then, the other thing that I was I raised my eyebrows at in your opening statement is the only mention of the environment is the global environment, talking about the global environment for business. Do you consider it an important part of your job to weigh up the intense damage that can be done to our environment, in particular the massive use of electricity and water? Are you concerned, do you believe that we will double the amount of energy used by data centres as a result of using AI? That's generally spoken about. Do you think that that puts in even further jeopardy meeting our climate targets, which really are the bare minimum of what we should be doing? And do you think this full embracing of AI is actually compatible with having a livable planet for us all to live in and our kids to live in?
I would hope we can do both, to answer your question, Deb. I hope we could do both. I would hope we can embrace AI in an ethical way that is regulated, that people can use, that doesn't harm citizens, and that we can meet our climate targets. I have to say, I've listened to your contributions over the years about data centres, and I appreciate where you're coming from. But I have equal concerns too about our use of energy, and I think the energy question is a question that has to be answered more in an energy department, and that's not to obfuscate your question, but I do think it has to be answered by that department itself. The one example that we see where a positive use has been used of the data centres is the district heating system here in Dublin, and I think data centres will come round to and have to come round to ensuring that the energy, that they are part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And I do take your comments and your arguments on this particular issue very serious. As I said, I've listened to your comments for quite some time. I have to say to you, when I was in Finland recently and visiting some of the companies there. They are now looking to Ireland at how we're so far ahead with the development of data centres. And they're actually trying to replicate in Finland right now what Ireland has done. And there is no getting away from the fact that it has put Ireland front and centre in being attractive to a lot of the companies who have come here to Ireland. So I think we have to look at it that we have to try and achieve and do both. I don't think that in today's world we can say we're switching off the internet to AI, or we're switching off the possibility of data centres or the growth of them, because I think that would be equally damaging to Ireland.
Okay.